Hey everybody, it's the interview queen Alicia Atout here, and it is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all to my interview with Blothar from GWAR. Hello,
That's right. That's me. How are
that's
you?
you. How are you doing? Welcome.
Well, I'm miserable as always, hot and sweaty here in Sarasota, Florida, and just making the best of a pandemic.
I did want to ask about that, just how you're holding up with the craziness going on, because I'm honestly not sure if interplanetary warriors are immune to the virus or how you're kind of handling things. So, how's that going?
Well, it's not like something, let's face it, I've eaten my share of bats and pangolins, so there isn't any chance that I'm going to get sick from this thing. But the truth of the matter is that GWAR not really that affected by it, except for the fact that the humans are dying at such an alarming rate that
Right.
we might not get to kill them ourselves, which is truly a disappointment. But we're just hanging out in our toilet paper forts, going ahead and just swimming. And we have bought all of the toilet paper in the world,
I was
so you
about to
people are coming to
ask.
us. Yeah, that's right. We control the pooping on the planet.
I'm guessing that's a way to lure people as well. You're away, you say, hey, we have some toilet paper for you, and then bam, just right over the head.
That's right. Poop tickets.
Well, before we get into some exciting things that are on the horizon, I do know one thing about you is the fact that you grew up listening to records because your grandmother had a huge collection. So is it true that she was the one that actually taught you guitar and kind of introduced you to the world of rock and roll?
Well, yes, that is absolutely true of my of the human slave of Blothar, Michael Bishop. Yes, it's absolutely true that his grandmother had a lot of rock records, and of all of the weird records for her to have, this old lady who lived in a trailer in Chester, Virginia, she had a she had Kiss Rock and Roll Over in her record collection, my
Great
grandmother.
record.
So, right, yeah. So, in the middle of all the Liberace and Freddie Fender and the very best of country, there was Kiss's Rock and Roll Over. So, and yes, she was also a musician who taught a young Michael Bishop how to play the guitar and the organ and how to sing and things like that. Both my grandmothers actually played music, so both his grandmothers.
Of
Excuse me.
course. Yeah, definitely
Right.
Michael's on that part. But
I
I had mentioned how some exciting things are on the horizon, and one of those things is the fact that you'll soon celebrate the 30th anniversary of your classic album, Scum Dogs of the Universe. So, does it feel a little bit surreal to you just looking back, thinking, like, holy shnikes, how has 30 years gone by since we shared this album with everyone?
you say holy shnikes?
Holy shnikes, one of my favorite phrases of all
Holy
time.
well, it has been a long time. When we recorded that record through the process of cellular mitosis, I used to be Beefcake the Mighty, but I divided at some point, and the good half became Blothar, and the rather morbidly obese, dim-witted side stayed Beefcake the Mighty. So here I am, and but at the time, as a young, impressionable Beefcake the Mighty, we had a lot of fun recording that record. It was a blast, and but at the end of it, it really didn't sound quite like we thought it would. It had a lot of sort of, I don't know, that sort of greasy cocaine fried chicken late 80s or early, late 80s sound of, so we had to basically shake out some of the cocaine and fried chicken. And
Right?
that's what we did. And we remixed and remastered it. The same Ronan Murphy, who was the same person who recorded and mixed and produced the blood of gods, the last album we did, and it really is, it sounds a lot better. There are some performances on it that nobody's ever heard before, and we're very excited about it. It's really Scum Dogs, the way that this band sounded if you just walked into a room and threw up a microphone and recorded a bunch of space aliens playing rock music.
And it's amazing too because you'll actually be able to revisit the album in its entirety on playing the Scum Dogs 30 live virtual performance. And I know that you've always wanted to play a concert without an audience simply because, in your words, the audience is the worst part. So, have you had some
That's
major
right.
assholes in the crowds over the years? Just some standouts
Oh
that
yeah,
come to mind?
absolutely. Of course. Yeah, I mean, sometimes I look out in the crowd and that's all I see is literally a bunch of assholes.
Right.
Just a bunch of, yeah, it's gross. But no, I mean, our audiences are always, I don't know, long suffering, self entitled, acne ridden, herpetic little morons. But there's also some good people out there too. Uh, and I mean, we're of course we're happy to have their money, and we're happy to take their lives. But humans just, they make us nervous. That's why we kill them. So it was nice to be able to play a show without the pressure of humans slobbering and slathering and trying to touch my multiple wieners.
Us humans can be a little bit annoying sometimes. I would have to agree on that.
Pushy,
So
pushy
I'll,
and entitled.
I'll be the first to admit it. So I was curious, other than them just being super annoying in crowds, what would you say is one of your biggest pet peeves?
With humans,
Just in general, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, humans, they've got this beautiful planet that they just shit all over all the time. GWAR is a force of nature. We're on the side of nature. People don't really understand that. It's very fitting that the Earth would develop a sort of virus that could wipe out its main infection, which is humanity. But we've been waiting for such a moment for quite some time, actually. Humans, they have a thirst for death that really GWAR can't even match, and a lack of respect for one another and love for one another that GWAR just doesn't really get behind. Well, we do get behind, but we get behind it so we can stick our, you know what we're talking about here.
I know where you're getting with, where you're going.
Do you smell what the Rock is cooking?
Ooh, right. I'm glad you referenced a little wrestling there, because on my show, I not only interview musicians like yourself, but also tons of wrestlers. So
excellent.
So we have a wrestling fan on the show right now.
Oh yeah, of course.
Ooh, okay. So
always into wrestling. That's what GWAR is. GWAR is comic books, professional wrestling, and horror movies, and rock and roll, and all that stuff.
I know there's been some mentions and a couple brief collabs, but you're definitely a character of your own. It's incredible. But if you were to have a wrestling character or gimmick to tap into, completely different than the you I am speaking with, what kind of in-ring persona do you think you would have?
Well, there are GWAR members that have wrestled professionally, and we used to bring, as a matter of fact, there is one of GWAR's arch enemies, Techno Destructo, actually wrestles right now in a league in California. And certainly GWAR, part of, I think, the long tail of this band might be some of the influence that we had on professional wrestling. And we've definitely been in contact with wrestlers over the years who were GWAR fans, and we used to put a wrestling ring on stage and actually have matches between things like, the giant nuclear cockroach and a pregnant bag lady in a tag team duo against Odorous and the Sexecutioner. We do things like that. But, I mean, I would say that my wrestling persona would be a cross between Ivan Koloff. Do you remember him? Ivan Koloff, the mad Russian. Yeah, the confusing Russian. And with a healthy dose of the Ultimate Warrior, who always just seemed like his heart. Yeah.
So we'd have some energy.
Yeah, before his heart literally exploded from nothing but cocaine, pure cocaine. He didn't have any blood. It was just cocaine and water in his.
One thing I did want to ask you about, simply because we were talking a little bit about the Scum Dogs of the Universe coming back, live shows, all of that, is the fact that right now a lot of Scum Dogs have come and gone over the last 30 years. So who are some of the biggest Scum Dogs of the Universe in your opinion?
Well, I mean, in this live performance that we're getting ready to do here, we have, you will be able to see some of the return of much of the Scum Dogs lineup. Of course, there's, beings that we can't summon back, like Flatus Maximus, who has gone to another planet, and Odorous Urungus, who also has passed into the ether. But they'll be there in spirit for sure. I would have to say that probably the greatest scum dog ever to live would be, of course, it would be Odorous Urungus, the former lead singer of this rock and roll band, and leader of this, three-ring gangbang circus that they call GWAR. But of course, yeah, well, that's what it is. And I think also in this live performance, though, you're going to see, so far, we know for a fact that the Sexecutioner will be there, and that Sly Minstra Hyman will be there.
Yes, a lot of
the erstwhile
announcements.
GWAR woman, the greatest. Right. So, all of this stuff is coming out, and it's going to be a huge event. And those are, those are the great ones. I am a scum dog, but certainly, Blothar came to the party a little late. My favorite scum dog, though, Odorous Urungus is probably the greatest. But the people's favorite has always been Ballsack. Everybody loves the sack, the jaws of death.
Just fun to say, right?
Oh, Ballsack, the jaws of death.
Well, the last thing that I did want to bring up is one of the very last tweets that you actually posted. I went on your page just to see some of the last things, and I think I just had to go scroll 3 down. I was already back in like 2017. And you wrote, "Mommy says, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, boil that motherfucker and eat it." So does that happen to be one of your favorite treats?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, that was back when I actually gave a shit about Twitter.
Right.
Yeah, quite a while ago. Yeah, I mean, of course, yes, GWAR eats babies. What else are we going to do? We're part of the the actual global cabal. Can you believe this? The QAnon conspiracy, right? It's so absolutely absurd. Except for the fact that GWAR actually are collecting children and eating them. That's what we do. But it's not because we want to have sex with them or because we're perverts. It's because they're fucking delicious.
Of course, I wouldn't see any other reason why. Completely understandable.
No.
Well, Blothar,
Right.
I want to say thank you so much for taking the time. I know myself, along with all of your other fans, are really excited for this 30th anniversary show. So thank you so much for coming on here.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Everyone, this has been Blothar from GWAR. I'm the interview queen, Alicia Atout. Be sure to check out aliciaatout.com for more exclusive interviews and features, and we will see you all next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Up, jump, the boogie to the rhythm of the boogie to me. All right.